I think you have been associated with us more than a decade and a half. So just wanted to understand your experience, how it has been throughout the journey.
I think Right Horizons growth and our growth have been commensurate. Yeah, and it's good to see that the organization has grown so big. I remember the initial days when you were in BTM layout and then moved. Yeah, it's been a good experience.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
How was your overall journey with Right Horizons?
It's been quite good. I've been with Anil and Right Horizons for the last couple of decades almost. So I know him for quite some time. So it's been good going so far.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. How's your overall journey with Right Horizons in the period of time?
Yeah, it's been very good. I've been with Right Horizons for more than 50 years.
Thank you so much for coming.
Wait, one more. Thank you.
Just one. So 2 minutes.
Record.
Okay.
So, how is your overall experience with Right Horizons?
Yeah, it has been pretty good. I'm there last almost 10 years.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, Amma. All together? Here? Wait.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening to everybody. Good evening. And wow, okay, good to see all of you. I think very dear friends, I would say, and a lot of well-wishers. So thank you for being here today. It's my pleasure to be standing before you today, and it's 20 years. It's been like, I didn't realize it moved so fast. And all of you today have been a very instrumental part of this journey. Okay, so thanks for sort of being here today, and let's thank you for being in this function here. Few people that I even when I reminisce and look back and say, a lot of people have been part of this journey. Okay, and the first being our customers. I think right from the day one, when I think our first customer, Algame, ended up trusting us to do a financial plan and continues to be our customers. And I think most of our first year customers, in fact almost like 90% plus of our first career customers are still with us. So it's a real strong bond. So thank you for really being a very, very key and instrumental part of it, right? The second pillar for us has been our team. I can give it to them. I think we've just focused on looking at small continuous improvements, first generation entrepreneur, right? And just said, okay, how do we keep on doing things, one step at a time, one day at a time. Our pillars have, never made me feel alone, right? So I think through all the best of times, through our triumphs, as well as I think through our pitfalls, right? They have always been there with us, and I think we did a session yesterday with the team, and we have so many of them who are 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, and they stood by our side. So thanks. In fact, what gives us greatest joy, right? As we went through this journey, I think the greatest joy, today you are participating in our milestone, right? So, and we are really happy for it. But what gives us greatest joy is when we see the milestones of both our clients as well as our employees being achieved, right? And I think that drives us, it gives us much more fuel in our engine, right, to go forward and do some great stuff for you. Yes, things have been good. While in those small steps, we also went and set up our PMS. Some of it has delivered some very good returns. Okay, and again, one step at a time, we've tried to build, even the services, and that has been a great part of the journey. The other set of people who've, really supported us is all our vendors. Okay, they've again been a very, very key and instrumental part of our journey, right? And I think our lighthouse, is our board of directors. Okay, so I would like to, call them out in alphabetical order. Okay, so all of them have been such great, pillars for us and our lighthouse. So first of all is Dinaz, please. So each of them are our clients, okay, and that also is something which helps it to be much more client-centric for us, right? So they are always watching out for our clients, right, and trying to see how we can do the best. So Dinaz comes with the whole consumer behavioral sciences and is an expert in that area. Okay, so then we have, I cannot miss out Rachna. I don't think she needs an introduction. I'll just say that she is my rock. Okay, Ramesh. Okay. Again, you'll see that each of them come with very, complementary areas of expertise, and that really helps us. So Ramesh on the technology side, definitely is a person very, very well known. Right? We have Ravi. Ravi is our person from industry, so a very, very integral part of Aditya Birla took, CXO roles, also took roles with Sun Life and came all the way down from Australia. Okay, so he runs an advisory practice there. So I think we have a lot to learn because Australia is is miles ahead of us in the advisory practice. And last but not the least, okay, is Shankar. Okay, so Shankar is also the moderator. So I'll probably do a slightly longer introduction, right, so that we sort of know him better. Apart from being a friend and guide, right, Shankar has such a multifaceted personality. He's a passionate student of corporate governance, sustainability, with 3 decades plus, of experience in corporates. He started up an organization, Simplify. Okay, he's been in academics, he's been in the social sector, with the Premji Foundation, he's supported, and he's been with the Oxfam. So various roles that Shankar has played. Okay, and he's also been the author of 2 books, right? So extremely well researched. In fact, goes really back in history on a lot of the topics on economics and stuff. Okay, and also, apart from being our board member, he is on the board of a few other companies and also does consulting work. So with that, I invite Shankar to come over and introduce the rest of his panel. Okay, and welcome and thanks, Shankar.
Thank you, Anil. Wish you all a very happy festive season, and wish you all movement in the right horizon towards health, wealth, and prosperity. So there are 4 subjects whether it's cinema, politics, stock markets, or sports, where you don't need any practical knowledge, any theoretical knowledge, or any form of frameworks to analyze, but still have an opinion on the subject. To prove this point, Right Horizon team has selected me to be a part of this. But at the same time, they realize these three are very critical inputs that's required for a considered judgment. So we have the three panelists. Each one of them come with one of the traits that is required for a learned opinion. So first, I would like to invite Karthik Jashwant, onto the panel to provide the practical aspects of cricket. He's a good friend, and more important, he's taken over 100 wickets in Ranji Trophy, scored more than 4,000 runs, has captained the Karnataka Ranji team, and also captained and coached the Karnataka Ranji team. Very often we have had discussions, and he always places a greater emphasis on academics. Very often we have discussed where he has said chartered accountants and IIM graduates are much better, till we boiled down to statistics and said there are more number of chartered accountants and IIM graduates as compared to people who have played for Ranji Trophy. Therefore, it's a more unique distinction. And if you take people who have won Ranji Trophy, there are much fewer. So he's one of the most distinguished people here that we could have to give us an insight into the cricket. Thank you, Jashwant, for sparing your time. Like I said, after the practical aspect, we had to consider someone who had studied the subject. What more than someone who has written books on it, analyzing cricket for over 100 years. And today morning, I refreshed it by going through a few chapters. Raghu, please join us. Raghu, along with his co-author S. Giridhar, together they have written two books. One is Mid-Wicket Tales, which looks at about 100 years of cricket, and Mumbai to Durban, some of the very interesting test matches in which India has been involved. In addition to being an author, he is also a cricketer who has played both in Mumbai and in Chennai, and he comes with a rich experience. Recently, while we were standing out, I got to know that he comes from a very distinguished lineage, who were the people who had set up in terms of BUCC Cricket Club in Bangalore. So welcome, Raghu. Honored to have you with us. And like they say, last but not the least, in a world where people literally do anything to get a doctorate, there's only one person I know who has a doctorate but refuses to use the word two letters prefixed to his name, DR. This is my dear friend Lakshmi Narayana, popularly known as LAN. He's a doctorate in corporate finance, but he's to me the embodiment of humility and grace. Thanks, LAN, for being a part of the panel today. So with this, I'll briefly describe what is it that we have planned for the next 1 hour and then go on. I've identified about 10 questions and want to ask the 10 questions to all the three panelists and get their insights into what it is. So since many of us do not have numbers at our fingertips, and we at Right Horizon believe you should take decision based on numbers, though you bring your insight, the insight should add on to the numbers that you bring. On this screen, we will flash some of those numbers so that all of us are on the same page. What I'll also do is, as we are flashing the numbers, since there are too many numbers, I'll also guide you into what those numbers mean before I turn to each one of them and ask them. And since they will not be able to see the screen, each one of them has a copy of what is coming there in the slide so that they could refer to it if they want. We also have 2 or 3 points where we take audience participation feedback. So I'll come to that. And any point of time you have insight which you feel rest of the room should know, please put up your hand and we'll definitely take that time. So broadly, we expect this to take about 60 minutes, 10 questions of 5 minutes each, followed by about 10 minutes of banter, you can say. So we'll start with the first question. I think I only have the... So what we thought we will do is this World Cup, all the statistics we have captured here is up to the semi-finals. That's when the league rounds were complete. We have captured about 10 or 12 highlight numbers of what happened in the tournament. So these are capturing the highs and lows, the biggest margin, the smallest margin, and some interesting facets which come during the course of this. So I thought, taking a bird's eye view, the first question that we should ask the panelists would be, what is the most striking feature of this tournament that they have noticed? So if you can start off, Raghu.
One of the things that really made an impact. Am I audible? Yes. Is the fact that this time everyone played everyone else. Very often in the last few World Cups, we had divided the teams into two groups, and there was always a debate on if Team A had not been in this group, some other team would have done better and probably qualified, etc. Everyone playing, 9 of the other teams. There were totally 10 teams this time, and that was a major good thing that happened, and I think it's a very fair way of getting the semi-finalists. Number one. Secondly, I thought the biggest disappointment, of course, was the absence of West Indies. This is the first time. West Indies won the first two, 75 and 79, the first two World Cups, and to not have them was a very sad thing. And West Indies right now look rather pathetic. Yeah.
World Cup without West Indies is like football World Cup without Brazil.
Yes.
So completely concur with you. Jesse?
Hello. Okay, you can hear me? Yeah, good evening to everyone, and thanks for the Right Horizons to invite me, and good luck in your journey. I wish you make it 100. Like, we are all, as cricketers, we are fond of the century. Yeah, coming to the question, like most of it is covered by him. For me, I'm not really a guy who looks into this statistics as how many teams played and who participated, who did not participate. I'm more into the quality and the feeling or how it touched the people. And I think this World Cup, currently what India was going through, this was required for the country to, really come together, feel good. And I'm sure that by tomorrow evening, if India wins this trophy, which I think most probably is going to happen, I think this is a good, good push which we required as of now. Looking at the geopolitical situations, everything has been negative, and there is something, and cricket being a religion in our country and the following being so much. I think this is a great thing. From that front, I think this World Cup has been great for me.
Again, just touching on one point, what Jashwant made, sports is all about being human. And in this performance which we have seen, I think the concept of India, the concept of identifying with excellence, irrespective of where it comes from, is something that is tough to miss. I hope it goes beyond the World Cup into all other spheres, so that we are able to recognize talent and performance wherever it comes from and celebrate. Lan.
Yeah, thanks. First of all, I do want to give a couple of disclaimers. First is that I actually am an absolute fish out of water. You have a researcher who's done research for 1,000 years on one side. You have two people who have lived and breathed cricket on the other side. So what am I doing in the middle? The most popular view would be that I'm like an item number in a movie. So that is just like way of Anil and Shankar to ensure that there's enough entertainment. But the more, I guess, the more charitable view is that I represent most of you, which is the average people who just watch cricket for fun and are followers of the religion without getting into the ritual, which is none of us play too much, but we all have. So I represent that. So that being said, to me, I think this World Cup is a World Cup of abundance. And I'll put it in a particular way, which is that I don't know how, till we see in this slide, 23,000 runs scored. I don't even know whether we realized it as we went through those 45 matches that so much things were happening. In some ways, it reminds me of what we should do with investing. It must compound quietly. So the runs have compounded in that. So that abundance and the way it has compounded quietly stands out to me as the single biggest feature of the way I think the World Cup has, apart from whatever Raghu and Jess have talked about.
Coming to the second question, here's where all of us have expectation before an event, and now we are almost at the conclusion of the event. So going into this, as we were getting into it, ICC has a system of ranking team performance, taking 24 of the last 24 matches played, and just before you entered the World Cup, you saw the top 4 teams, in that being India, Pakistan, Australia, New Zealand and England. Based on form, these would be the teams that would be in the reckoning when coming. And in large tournaments like this, they always say pedigree matters more than form. So if you see, you have Australia which has won 5 times, you have West Indies and India which have won twice, and you have Sri Lanka and Pakistan which have won once. So these were some of the expectations of teams which would come into the top 4 and qualify into the top 2. Today we know who are the top 2 finalists playing. Given that, what was your expectation at the commencement of the tournament? Who both would be competing in the finals and who will be the 4 in semi-finals? As compared to that, is there any change in the result that has come, or has it been on very predictable lines? Can we start with you, Lan? This time we go back.
Sure. I don't think I was dramatically surprised by the finalists in some sense. Yeah, one finalist I think we all knew. Or we all hoped, we all prayed, but they also were true to form. On paper, they have always looked good, and they are there, and hopefully they'll make it all the way. So that was in some ways fixed. I mean it in the positive way. Don't get me wrong. It's all this WhatsApps going around on the World Cup, right? But the second slot was always up for grabs. As per ranking, it should have been Pakistan, but Pakistan is a team where for every good feature that you talk of them, opposite is equally true. If they have the best bowling attack, on a day they'll have the worst bowling attack. If they have great batsmen, on a day they'll all collapse. So there was always that unpredictability element which adds to the excitement. So it really had to be, in some ways, Australia and New Zealand. Personally, a bit of a disappointment after seeing what England does in the test matches. It would have been nice to have them on into the, at least after the semis final. But yeah, a long way of saying that not really surprised by any of these.
Yeah, the top 2 teams, India and Australia, were certainly, I think most of us expected it. But the surprise was England with the current form. That didn't happen. And the rest of the things, I think it played out. It was between New Zealand, South Africa, England, and Pakistan. 2 teams were supposed to get in, out of which 2 have gotten, and the 2 people who really matter, who are going to get the cup, India and Australia, have made it to the final. So coming to Pakistan, what Lan was talking, they're all great cricketers, they're all very talented cricketers, but the environment in Pakistan is not conducive to competitive cricket, and they don't have access to play the IPL. So they very rarely play cricket, competitive cricket, especially against international teams. Not many teams visit them, or not many teams welcome them. So keeping all this in mind, even though they are extremely talented cricketers, like what papers told that, great bowling attack. Okay, one of the good batsmen was there, Babar Azam, but nothing clicked for them because I think the environment was not up to it. But other than that, these 2 teams were certainly, a lot of people, at least in the cricket circles, expected that India for reasons being that we are playing at home. So we are very good in home pitches. Probably that went against England, and England probably, took a very huge step forward by chasing that 400 odd runs in a test match on the last day, and they were in a different high. You cannot emulate that every day, it just happens once in a way. So probably that high which they had probably carried it to this tournament, which couldn't, didn't work out in India.
Well, I'm very disappointed that England didn't make it. they've been playing the kind of cricket which people would love to watch. And the Baz, the McCullum, Stokes combination was heady, and it was very, very exciting, and I'm very sad that they haven't made it in this form of cricket. But the body language and the whole thing right from the first match has been pretty bad. I mean, after the first few matches, I didn't think England would qualify at all. To me, the surprise is South Africa. South Africa, I think, looked formidable, and I was thinking they'll make it to the final. And whenever they batted first, they were, piling on the runs, and 3 or 4 of them were looking so good. I have somehow never thought Pakistan as a team was strong enough to make it to the semi-finals. Not only what has already been said about Pakistan, the other point I'd like to make is Pakistan's fielding has always been suspect. They have never fielded well through a tournament, and I didn't think they would make it to the last 4 at all.
So to use the stock market analogy, the blue chips have performed. The small caps have not made it to the top performance. So in a way, while it has been predictable, it has not provided the kind of excitement that we saw in 1983 or 1996, where an underdog came up and performed. So we are happy that since we are backing the blue chips have done well, and hopefully they'll continue to do well. So the next question we have here is with regard to the question. I think in some way we have answered this, because the 3 previous winners, one country where we have not looked at till now, Pakistan and England, have been covered in detail. One other winner who I felt did not play to their potential was in terms of Sri Lanka. Any opinion on that? We can.
Sri Lanka, I think Sri Lanka has been almost like West Indies, in the sense, over the last 5 or 6 years, I think they've been going downhill very, very rapidly, and their cricket has lost its. It could be because of the political situation and maybe the kind of opportunities they are getting to participate often enough, like he said about Pakistan, and Sri Lanka not figuring in it is not surprising at all. In fact, I would rate them as poorer performers in this World Cup than Afghanistan and Netherlands. While England was a surprise, Sri Lanka is predictably pretty bad.
Yeah. Coming to Sri Lanka, I quite agree with him, but the thing is, Sri Lanka is in a rebuilding phase. They've lost all the superstars very quickly. The Jayasuriya, the Muralidharan, then Sangakkara, Jayawardene, all of them have gone too quickly, Malinga. So they're literally rebuilding a side, so they're still a young side. Maybe we can expect better performance in the next World Cup if things improve there, the political situation and the situation in the country, if it improves. They're also a very talented set of people. And like we spoke already about Pakistan and England, Sri Lanka, in my opinion, they're rebuilding a side. I think we need to give it to them.
Just one counter to both of you. Since there is so much of emphasis on social and political system, which has an impact on performance in sports, the performance of Afghanistan, given the same background,
Absolutely.
doesn't it defy expectation? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, you're very right. The situation there is worse than all the countries which we spoke, but still they're extremely talented cricketers, and they all come together for a cause. Say like when India won the 1983 World Cup, nobody expected, and then in a small group like that, one person takes over charge, and he says that it is followed to the T. So that probably is happening, and then there are 1 or 2 very good world-class players like Rashid Khan and few of them. So that could be the reason, kind of environment which is required for a sports person to excel is extremely important. See, that is the reason why Australia is doing well, because Australian system from the grassroots is very good. So despite that, to answer your question, I think they are extremely talented, and one man is taking the call, and people are following that.
And Shankar, I thought the maturity they exhibited while chasing big totals was absolutely amazing for a side which is not had that kind of experience, they never panicked. When they had to hit, get to a total, they made sure they got to it in 45 and 48 overs. They never panicked earlier. It was amazing. I was totally surprised and astonished at the maturity that they displayed in this World Cup. Afghanistan.
Sorry, Lan, I bypassed.
No worries. I mean, all I can say is that past performance is no indicator of future performance. So that's what this World Cup has taught about that. And the second thing is that you're only as good as your last quarter. Right? So every match you have to perform, every World Cup you have to perform. So what? We talked about West Indies in the beginning. It's the same for these people. These are all the classic. People used to say about Europe. It's a continent with great history and no future. Some of these are like that. You have to perform every time, and I think that's what has happened to these two teams.
This is the question, which amazes me and excites me quite a lot, which is in terms of upsets. So there are so many. David versus Goliath probably said the thing where most of us root for the side of David, irrespective of which game or which event we are in. Here the question is, we have had 5 upsets. I thought before we go to the panel and take their opinion, in the audience, if we could have a show of hand of saying which is the upset which was the most attractive or the most stunning according to you. So we had like England, the reigning champ who lost. We had 3 previous winners. We had one person who qualified for semi-finals who has lost. So the one which is Afghanistan versus England, who would rate this as the biggest upset? How many of you here would rate this as the biggest upset? Maybe about 6 or 7 hands up. The next is Netherlands versus South Africa. Slightly more hands than the first one. Third is Netherlands versus Bangladesh. When I'm putting my hand down so that no one. Afghanistan versus Sri Lanka is the biggest margin of victory if you look at. Then Afghanistan versus Pakistan. So broadly, we have got a feel where Afghanistan versus Pakistan seems to outrank Afghanistan versus England. Any opinion here? Starting, let's say.
I would think Netherlands beating South Africa was, to me, the most surprising result of this tournament. Because most of us didn't know too much about Netherlands cricket. And we thought that they were lucky to have made it to this group. And South Africa looked so strong after the first few matches. And when they lost to Netherlands completely, I was totally surprised.
Yeah, for me the first one, Afghanistan versus England, because England came in as the former champions and to have been beaten by one of the low-ranking teams, I think that morale really went down. So that probably started the downfall for England also. So for me that is the biggest upset.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to go. So for me again, like Raghu, it was Netherlands versus South Africa. One, because the only thing we know about Netherlands is that they wear orange color clothes, in football and things. So that was like always exciting thing about them. But what about the sports and stuff they may perform? I also think it is important because in some ways that loss is what triggered South Africa. The bounce back of South Africa after that match was amazing. So I think it had a catalytic role both for the match itself as also what happened in the rest of the tournament.
Okay, I thought I'll also volunteer an answer, though no one is asking me. So
ask yourself.
I am a fan of football. Derby in football has a lot of meaning because when two neighbors fight, there's an excitement, which goes beyond just the sport. So for me, Pakistan-Afghanistan match had a lot more emotion in it, both of the players and the audience, and for a smaller David to beat a bigger World Cup winner, to me was in many ways the biggest upset of the tournament. And I would have loved to have seen them in semi-finals and maybe lose to India in finals, Afghanistan. That would have been my dream. However, we have to settle with Australia. It's a poor substitute. The next one is, this is a little busy side, but here we are saying, the best performance in a single match. So we have below listed in terms of the top 10 scores by individual batsmen, ranking them from the highest including the strike rate. The other side we have bowling, where we combine not just the wickets but also with the economy rate. And the question here is, which is the performance that you think was the most outstanding performance of the tournament till now? So after we do a panel views, I thought this is a question again we can go back to our audience poll based on what the panel is looking at, or if there is any other performance that comes up. So would you like to start, Jashwant? Raghu?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there were quite a few good performances and some consistent performances like from Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli and Shreyas Iyer and all that. But two stood out. One was Maxwell winning that match from nowhere, because if they had lost that match, probably they would have been out of contention. So that was literally a knockout match. So that was one, and the second one was Mohammad Shami getting 7 wickets in a match in 10 overs. That is not seen very often.
But that's not in this.
Yeah.
It was in the semi-finals.
Okay.
That's fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So poetic liberty. Poetic liberty.
Okay, that's not there.
This was done 2 days before.
2 days back. Okay. So for me, as of now, I think I will go with Mohammad Shami's 7-wicket performance.
The completely astonishing and startling performance has easily been that of Maxwell. You may say that that was against a weak team, but considering that Australia were 7 wickets down for 70 odd runs and chasing something like 290 or 80 something, it seemed like an individual performance. I mean, one individual playing against a team and doing something when he was so badly injured, standing on one leg and hitting the ball out of the ground consistently. It was totally amazing. I know that we normally only think of batsmen and their antics and never think of the bowler, but I think Maxwell trumps everything else.
That reminded of 1983 World Cup, 70.
Like Kapil's 170 Kapil's, yes.
And let's hope it stops there and not gets into the final. I don't want him to take a running catch.
No, I think, I guess in some ways the most Maxwell and Shami will always remain as two standout performer. But I just want to, since Jashwant has given the liberty, I'll also go out of the syllabus. But to me, the most striking individual performance is Rohit Sharma. Every single match, he's provided the impetus without necessarily scoring something. I mean, he's not scored a big century. He's not been there for 40 overs and ended the game. But the way he starts off, I think, provides us so much impetus for the Indian team, and it is so demoralizing to the other team. That seems to be something that is perhaps maybe part of the plan, but it's been executed brilliantly. So I think I would sort of take that as the.
If you don't mind, just one thought, since this is also a Bangalore crowd, I think the most underrated performance so far has been KL Rahul. I think the way he has batted in every game and the way he's kept wickets, not being a very regular wicketkeeper, has been simply astonishing. He's been better than most of the other renowned wicketkeepers. He's taken catches on the leg side, never missed anything, and he's provided a kind of nous, a certain kind of knowledge even for DRS decisions, the way he's done it. And Rohit Sharma completely trusts his judgment. If KL Rahul says yes, he'll go for that DRS, yes. And KL Rahul, I think, has been the subtle hero for India in this tournament.
I think KL Rahul is a good CFO to have for a CEO, where he tells you when to take risk and when not to take risk. I thought, Jashwant, one small view from you in terms of how difficult is it for a non-regular wicketkeeper to keep wickets and achieve the kind of excellence that he has done, like Dravid did before?
Yes, but both of them were not really non-regular keepers. They started with wicket keeping, but then for, what happens with the wicket keeper is you don't get that batting number. If you keep wickets, like they'll send you number 6, number 7. So I remember Rahul was started for his school, the St. Joseph's Boys High School, and then KL Rahul was doing the same in Mangalore, and a few of us have advised them to give up the keeping so that they'll be promoted in the batting order. So that means they had that within them. So that is the reason Rahul Dravid could keep for 100 matches plus in the ODIs, and KL Rahul is doing such a good job, like what you're saying. Now, apart from his keeping, what KL Rahul is bringing to this team is the stability which he just told about Rohit Sharma's performance. Whether it is Rohit Sharma, whether it is Shreyas Iyer or Virat Kohli or another batsman, Shubman Gill, they have the freedom that there's one guy who's going to control it. Even at number 5, if he comes in. So that is giving the liberty for a guy like a Virat Kohli to settle down. Virat is not coming and just starting to hit, because he knows that there is depth in it. Then there comes Surya Kumar Yadav after that. So like Surya Kumar Yadav can bring in a innings like Glenn Maxwell anytime. So currently the team is in great form, and we are missing the leader here, the Rahul Dravid, because such an achiever, because of his aura around the team. I think that is playing a huge role in the team's performance to what they are today. If you remember when Rahul started his stint as a coach, there were some no renowned commentators criticizing, saying that after the series, why do you should play your best team. And Rahul told that, the people who are sitting in the bench, they are not travelers, they are also good cricketers. So he tried out all his options. Now India, even, let me tell you, if 3 guys are indisposed today, I don't think we are going to find any problem. So, whereas that is because of the hard work done from the past 2 years. So that is what Rahul has brought to the table for the Indian team. Coming to your business of being in markets, I don't know how your investors behaved during the COVID when the Nifty went down to 8,000. So what happened at that time with your investors, I really don't know. So that is what Rahul has provided for all that. The Indian team today, with 3 guys not being there, I think they'll still manage to win tomorrow. The same thing cannot be spoken about Australia. Australia, just that 11 people are doing well. If something goes wrong, it could be difficult for them.
If you were to, Lan picked Rohit Sharma, in a way picking quality over quantity. Shami, again, Jashwant picked in terms of Shami, and Raghu picked Maxwell. So if you were to say Rohit Sharma, how many would say star of the tournament till now? Maybe about 20%. Then Maxwell, how many? About 10 to 15%. And if you take Shami, I think Shami wins hands down. There is an inherent bias in all of us being Indians, and it's good to see one of our fellow Indians being recognized as the star even among ourselves. So, something good for us to.
He didn't play the first 3 matches.
So we kept him fresh.
All in the last 4 or 5.
So we kept him fresh for the critical end.
This is where I want to bring in Rahul Dravid's input for the team, because he fully well knows that Mohammad Shami's fitness is not at the greatest. So he knows how to use him, or even when it comes to Bumrah also, if you observe, they're not giving him more than 3 overs, 4 overs per spell, because of his very unorthodox or varied action. It takes a lot of toll on his body. So they're using him very meticulously so that he is fresh and at the same time useful for that current game which is going on.
So they are booking profits at appropriate times so that they conserve their gunpowder to be able to take the shots when they require. The next one, if you look at, is in terms of, this is for the entire tournament. here being me, the accountant, you can't take the accountant out of me. I said, no, if you have scored 23,009 runs and you have taken 635 wickets, I said, let me equate apple and oranges. I said 23,009 runs divided by 635 wickets translates to 33.59. That means if I say 1 wicket equals 33.59 runs and converted it, I said the top bowler at the semi-final level, Zampa, 22 wickets translate to 711 runs, and he far outperforms the batsman. I do not know whether this is a correct analysis or not. So when you are looking at in terms of a batsman game, because it's more attractive, it's like in business, no? The sales guys get all the recognition, but unless the back office works, the sales effort may not realize the kind of fruit that you want. Given this, do you think it makes sense to equate runs and wickets in some way so that you can mathematically arrive at a star of the match or star of the tournament? Or you think it's flawed and no attempt should be made, each one should be enjoyed for its own sake? We'll start with Raghu, the statistician, and also the analyst.
I'm not sure whether that's a very good way of figuring out what would get the maximum points. But to answer the question, I was most amazed at the unknown guy who came and became a star after the first 5 or 6 matches. We hadn't even heard of him really, Rachin Ravindra. He was amazingly consistent, and besides scoring all those runs coming in at number 3 and later opening, he was also bowling 5 or 6 overs in most of those matches at least. And to me, he was the star of the tournament because he was the unknown. He was making a debut in this kind of cricket in this tournament and started off with a bang and continued. And it was his consistency, and being a left-hand batsman myself, I was thoroughly enjoying Rachin Ravindra.
Yeah, I think, see, it can come only from an accountant, so it may not, I agree with him, but at the same time, see, the bowlers are not recognized at all, wherever it is from day number 1. If you look at that point and give some importance towards the bowlers, I think this will be a good way to look at the performances, and then bowlers are getting the flack all over. Now the bats are getting better, the batsmen are getting stronger, the boundaries are getting smaller, and the pitches are getting better. But still, bowlers will have to do their job. So probably this can motivate them, and probably people who follow the game may really see the worth of the bowler. Otherwise, it's like a goalkeeper in football, right?
That's what we think of his messes. Yes.
Yeah, Shankar, non-gap numbers can be used to supplement gap numbers, not substitute them. So to that extent, I think as long as one doesn't use this convert to decide the winner of the match, like number of boundaries, saying if you convert it, who will win, as long as we don't do that, I think it's a good tool to use. Like Jashwant said, it's important to give the credit to bowlers. But to that question, the start of the tournament, I mean, personally, for me it was Quinton de Kock. Every time he fired, South Africa looked like a different team. And everything he missed, they look completely different again.
And the final catch he missed.
Yeah, of course. And of course, I think there's always something quaint about Quinton de Kock because you have very few cricketers whose names start with Q, which is another interesting thing about it.
So, in terms of entertainment, there are multiple parameters you can use for entertainment. One is in terms of thrilling, where you don't know which way the match will swing, where the last wicket, where the win is by 1 wicket. Any point the match can get over and the other team could win. The other one is in terms of nail biting, where it goes to the last ball of the tournament before it gets decided, or in terms of kings who dominate from beginning to end. Whether it was West Indies in the first 2 tournaments, or Australia, or now India. These are all things which can excite in a very critical way. Below I have also captured in terms of, to show some comparison, I have captured the 10 highlights of Cricket World Cup from 1975 till 2023, that is before the advent of the semi-finals, and I have highlighted in red where that particular event has taken place in the current World Cup. Like all we see, there is an inflation factor. You can see that World Cups which have taken place later have been higher scoring, despite the number of overs being reduced from 60 to 50 in 1987 World Cup. So in terms of excitement, where would you place this World Cup compared to the other World Cups? Start with you.
I mean, to be candid, as I was all the match. Disclaimer: I was all the matches only on TV. So from that point of view, actually from an excitement level, it's been relatively lower compared to some of the earlier ones. What I'm told is that actually it gets worse when you go to the ground, because there are big announcements between every ball, and there are musics played, and you just imagine ball is going to the top of it, you have a bhangra beat coming on. I mean, it's, for people who have been purists of cricket, it's not great fun. So if you look at entertainment from that point of view, I think we have gone overboard on that in terms of, and I mean, everyone's got a WhatsApp forward of a 35-page agenda for tomorrow's World Cup final. Right? That again tells you that kind of, so from that point of view, it's not been great, but I think to be, at least my take is that this has been relatively a bland, predictable, like I said in the first question, it's a slow compounding event. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, for me, the current World Cup, the real entertainment might start tomorrow. Not on the field, off the field, whatever is planned. They've planned, like you said, 35-page thing, which is going to happen. So that apart, but the real cricket for me, it was 1983 World Cup, which India won, which turned the country, the way of looking at cricket or cricketers, because cricketers were really underpaid around that time, and now they have become superstars. They're earning much more than the movie stars. So that for me made a big difference to Indian cricket, and a lot of employment has been generated through the sport. So I think for me, 1983 World Cup.
I think the most exciting World Cup for me was when Sri Lanka won. Not only was Sri Lanka not considered a big power in those days, the way they got together and the way they opened the batting with Jayasuriya and Kaluvitarana in that tournament, and the kind of, I don't know, I loved that champion. I was rooting for Sri Lanka like crazy right from the start, and I was very happy when they won. So to me, that was the most exciting World Cup. This one has been, as they said, pretty predictable. But the other slightly sad thing that I note is that there have been crowds only for India matches, and most of the crowds in the ground, the deafening silence when an Indian wicket falls and when the opponent hits a lovely shot for 4 or 6 is very sad. I think the people who go to the ground to watch cricket are too jingoistic, and it's rather sad that they're not followers of cricket but only fans of a certain kind, which is in line with what's going to happen tomorrow over 35 pages.
So, coming to the next question, which is what I thought, though it seems quite obvious, what is the factor that has made the two finalists successful? Is it predictable in terms of hero winning because he had more guns or more ammunition with him, or was it strategy? Was it tactics? What is it that differentiated the two winners when you compare to a pretty even field when it started out, especially for the top 8 countries, and these two countries entering the final? Is there something distinctive that you see in each one of them that contributed to their success?
Actually, like you said correctly, it was very predictable. But what was visibly seen with the Indian team was the methodical way in which they approached the entire tournament. And we can probably say it is luck for everyone to click in a tournament, and that has happened to India, but without reasons it wouldn't have happened. So the methodology which probably Dravid has brought in into this team must be giving results now. And coming to Australia, it was expected. Australia are a far better side, not compared to India as of now. They were very good cricketers and they deserve to be where they are, that's it.
Yeah, as Jaswant says, one expects Australia to do well. Even after losing the first two matches, most of us were pretty confident that they would come back and make it to the semi-final. And it's no surprise that they've made it to the final. India has been absolutely, looking invincible so far. They've ticked all the boxes. They've been so balanced. And as somebody said, even if 2 or 3 of the key players are injured, I think we'll still be the favorites right now. And I am very, very surprised, and also I think what we have done extraordinarily well is place our faith on a few people and back them totally. And 3 of them or 4 of them have been going through long injuries. Bumrah was injured, Rahul was injured, Hardik Pandya was injured, Shreyas Iyer was injured, and they had long layoffs, and we got them in with the full confidence that they would perform and be absolutely great performers in this particular tournament. I think hats off to the selection committee, whoever has been responsible, Dravid and the others, to place their faith on 4 people who were coming back from long layoffs. The only so India, I think the fitness, the methodology, the planning, the strategy, it's been pretty fantastic. I think overall we have done remarkably well.
Yeah. I think 2 things come to me. I think this is classic like markets, right? There are many ways to make money in the market. You choose the one that works for you. Similarly, I think it is India was entirely process, a lot of methodology, sticking to a strategy, sticking to the core 11, etc. And I think in some ways, while I'm sure Australia had all of these, I think there was also the person element in Australia. There were always, every match there was a star. Like the Maxwell still stands out in terms of what he did. Also the fact that they had that experience of having been in similar situations many times over, they could sort of wade through it even if they were not in the best of form. So to me it is like each one chose what they were good at and played to that, rather than trying to kind of get confused about the strategy. I think that's what made the difference, and that's why I think it's very similar to markets.
Did any of you expect Zampa to be the top wicket taker at the completion of the thing? Because I was surprised he didn't take any wicket in the semi-finals, but otherwise, I thought he was exemplary.
Yeah, he's bowled well this tournament, but it is expected for a spinner to do well on Indian wickets, so that has come good. Apart from that, I think coming tomorrow, what will be what's that bowler's name? No. Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav will be, I think, very difficult for the Australians to play.
There was one other point, Shankar. Sorry, I'll come back to it.
We have only 2 more questions, so we don't have. So this is in terms of something I put together in terms of learnings. When you have tournament which is on predictable lines, there is very little you can pick up new. Where you have seen some new strategy come is where an underdog has outperformed, like you had in 1992 when you had Deepak Patel open the bowling. Once it became successful, it became the norm for a spinner to start opening. Similarly, Mark Greatbatch as a pinch hitter going early and then scoring. When earlier to that, you would score some 25 runs in first 10 overs and without losing wicket was considered a good strategy. Where they dramatically turned it, taking the contrarian view. Those were that, and of course the Sri Lankan victory, where they took everyone by surprise by having both the openers firing from the beginning. So when you look back, for me the key takeaway, especially going into tomorrow, is that the last 3 tournaments have all been won by the host. India won in 2011, Australia won in 2015, and England again won in 2019. So I hope the trend continues. Is there any other trend that you are able to pick up where from this World Cup as compared to the rest of the World Cup, where you think which can influence the finals tomorrow?
I would think that a very clear thing that has come through is, in this World Cup, spinners have by and large been able to control the flow of runs much better than the faster bowlers. Fast bowlers have been picked and their pace has been used with the lovely bats that they have now to hit the ball out of the ground. When you have to hit a spinner out of the ground, you've got to generate all that power. And from that angle, I would think even playing a third spinner would be a good strategy, rather than in the middle overs, the spinners have been able to control the flow of runs very well in all these matches that we've seen. It's also probably because this is subcontinent and India, and it may not happen in Australia or New Zealand.
And what he's talking about is to bring in the world's best spinner, that is Ashwin, who's sitting out in the bench.
I'm from Chennai.
So
like the disclaimer.
So that also shows the current form which Indian team is in. And yeah, very rightly said that, but depending on the pitch tomorrow, obviously the teams will know. If it is going to be a spinner friendly wicket, I think that move, I think probably they'll do it. But looking at both the teams who have done fairly well till now, I think they will stick to what they've been doing all this while.
I think in terms of learning, I think the biggest learning is, execute build your strategy to the circumstances, right? I mean, every team has, every World Cup at this time more so has been about Indian pitches, Indian grounds, Indian travel, and Indian crowds. And every team has, I can only imagine what to Raghu's earlier point, how would it feel if if I went to another country, had 40,000 people, and not one clapping for the boundary that my team scored. So it's also a question of planning for all that. So it is like horses for courses, prepare on every single thing, and that's, I think, the biggest takeaway for me from this World Cup.
In a very crude way, for me, the dark star of the tournament has been a Pakistani cricketer called Hassan Raza. I don't know how many of you have heard his name. He made a claim that India is doing better because they have inserted some technology into the ball which is helping. So that's credit to Indian tech industry. Then there is a lot of controversy about pitch switching. Anything, is there smoke without fire, or you think it's not smoke but cloud descended?
You should know from whom it's come. If there's some credible guy who talks like that, probably there will be some smoke. Here, these guys just cannot take defeat.
And I think social media can create enough number of conspiracy theories.
So, but it's a little bit fun, add spice to life.
Shankar, just one thought. We haven't touched upon it, but since three of us who played cricket have been left-handers, there's something I'd like to say about the Indian team. You look at Australia, you look at New Zealand, you look at every other team, South Africa, right from the openers there's a left-hander. Australia has two left-handers opening, very often. Now, India, over the years, has not had a left-hander in the top 5. I would like to tell all of you, remind you about one thing. No, Ganguly. Ganguly is the only big left-hander we've had in the top 5 from the time we started playing cricket. Okay. And I'd also like all of you to think about this. You will all remember quite sadly how we got 36 all out in Australia. In that match, all 11 of our batsmen were right-handers. Rishabh Pant didn't play that match, he was injured. Jadeja didn't play that match. All 11 players were injured, right-handers. And Jaswant would tell you, having been such a senior cricketer, how easy it is for base bowlers to just bowl on that corridor when all 11 are right-handers. Because the LBW is always in play.
The thing is, the bowlers have a clear advantage here because they get used to bowling at a particular line. So when there is a switch of left-hander and right-hander, if you listen carefully to Sunil Gavaskar's commentary, very regularly he talks about it. That when there is a left-hander, the bowlers are struggling, or vice versa. So that I think probably, but finally, end of the day, if your team is doing well with or without left-handers, that's what counts.
Since he credited me as a cricketer, I must make one acknowledgement. As a left-hand batsman, I have not scored more than 25 runs in my career. So the last question, which is tomorrow, all of us wish, hope, pray, desire that India wins. The question is, who do you think will be the man of the match? And would anyone like to predict the score like we had in March or May when one Australian predicted 450 for 2 and 65 all out? So anyone wants to hazard a guess in terms of either a score or margin or who will be the star tomorrow?
I'd love it if it's Rohit Sharma.
Okay.
All I can say is it's most likely to be a batsman.
For me, it could be Kuldeep Yadav.
So I have only one desire. I hope the match goes till the last over, and all of us are biting our nails. And then at 10:30, 10:45, the news comes, that India has won, so that it's a Sunday well spent, and Monday we stay to recover and start working from Tuesday. Thank you all. It's been an excellent audience and enjoyed this 1 hour. Thanks to the 3 panelists. I think they proved the point. What I lacked, they made up for. Thank you all.
So a big hand for them. And I think Shankar, with all the statistics, I think, took it to a next level. Okay, and I was looking at it and saying, yeah, you know what, India can win, and it looks really possible because there were a lot of teams which have won all matches and home ground, etc., etc. So I thought, yeah, wow. So I think Shankar, thanks, and definitely thanks to all of you. I think great statistics and depth, and the odd man in the middle added spice.
The fun.
Yeah, and all the spice. True entertainment value, and you took it on very well. And of course, I think last but not the least, Shankar. So thank you. Just wanted to felicitate each of them for coming in and participating right in the middle of the cricket World Cup. Yeah. So I think let's start with Raghu.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll request Ramesh, please come in. I think each of the board members are just
Come talk.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
I think, sorry, Dinesh Rachna has given some weightlifting. Heavy lifting. Sorry. Ravi, please. And Lam. I think later.
That was very well.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I think, Rachna, maybe you can come over. Thank you, please. Thank you.
Sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for participating.
Group photo. Group photo.
This has some checks and mutual Share certificates.
Well, confidential matters.
That is a statistics sheet.
Yeah, yes, There's some surprise when you open it.
What do I say? I thought, when they told me that they are celebrating their 20th anniversary, I said, how can I make it more human? So that was thought running my mind. So keeping with the cricket theme, I said before, I don't have much big lecture or things to share with you, but I'll try to make it more human with my experience that I have seen Anil and Rachna, she's here, they have gone through. So I'll start with a very simple quiz though. And this is like a two-part quiz, and you can just yell it from there wherever you are. How many ways an Indian cricket, or not Indian, any cricket or batsman can go out? Yeah, I need the number. Does anybody know? How many? 9. You're close. 9. I think the answer is 10. At least what the Google says. Yeah, so anybody want to take a chance, what of those 10 are?
Give the odd one.
Give the odd one, okay, I'll give the odd one. The easy ones are like LBW, card, bold, red wicket.
It's a 9 plus timed out.
Well, actually that's 11 then, it's 11. Then it makes it 11. The odd ones are that at least I found the odd ones are, there's something called double tapping. I don't know how many of you know that batsman can become out by double tapping. And double tapping is nothing but if a ball comes to you, hits the ball and then hit it again. That's out. There's something, the history was repeated in this World Cup where Sri Lankan batsman was out. That's called timed out, yeah. So when a batsman goes out and the new one comes in, if he takes longer, that's out. There's something called Amarnath got out, handling the ball. So you can't handle the ball. Like let's say somebody hits the ball and it starts going towards the stumps, you can't hold it. So that's out. And I think there's obstructing the field, yes. That's another one where let's say the batsman is running to take a run and a fielder is throwing the ball to make him run out and you on purpose block the ball from hitting the stumps, that's obstructing the field. So anyway, so that's the cricket part. So now try to make it more human. So I don't know, many of you don't know this, but Anil is my junior. We studied in not too far, St. Joseph's from here. So we all three of us come from the same college. And this is the same room where these two got their reception done 25 years ago. This is the same room. The only difference is this hotel was called something else, but this is the same room. Huh? Gateway. It was called Gateway, yes, thank you. Right. So what I don't know how you are related to Right Horizons, whether you are an investor, a director or a vendor, but one line stuck with me. I don't know how many of you have seen this movie called Rocket Singh. There is a one line, he comes in the end. And I do see that line played very well with these two, how they treat their employees, how they treat their customers, how they treat their vendors. And that line is, business is nothing but people. You take care of people and the numbers automatically goes up. So I do want to tell you, no matter what, they have the two covering your finances. So I do write some poem, Shairo Shairi kabhi kabhi likh leta hu. So I want to dedicate this small poem to both of them, for Anil and Rachna. And then I'll end with that. In the halls of time where memories reside, 2 decades ago a journey's pride. A company's tale woven strong and true, 20 years and still you grew and grew. With each passing year, like seasons change, your roots dug deep in the world so strange. Through highs and lows you stood the test, the resilient spirit in our hearts impressed. 2 decades of stories of triumph and falls, of teamwork that echoes through the office walls. Innovation dance, a constant theme, a company's vision, a collective dream. Cheers to your milestones, the victories won, to the battle fought and work well done. 20 years strong, a beacon you stand, guided by purpose, hand in hand. Here's to your future, the chapters untold, in the company story yet to unfold. So raise a glass, let celebrations commence for 20 years of excellence. May the coming years bring even more success to cherish forevermore. So please give it up for Anil and Rasna. Thank you very much. Thank you again.
Thank you. That was something. Okay, so I think I didn't have too much of work out here up there, so I'm the MC. So we'll have the cake cutting, all RH sites and our wonderful board, please.
You can. Yes. Yeah, all together.
Celebrations when I tell everyone that you're in love with me. Congratulations and jubilations. I want the world to know I'm happy as can be. Who would believe that I could be happy at the I used to think that happiness had to be endless, but that was in the bad old days before I met you. When I met you, into your heart. Congratulations and celebrations when I tell everyone that you're in love with me.
If you can just come down, sir, here, this corner. Come down here. He's not visible again. Last person. Come this side here. Okay. Okay, here ready? Everyone? Smile here. Okay. We'll have one with cheer shot. I'll tell you 3, 2, 1, go, everyone like this. But everyone should shout. Okay, ready here? Wait. Just. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go, ready? Yes. I see very low voice. One more time. Shout. Okay, ready here? Right? 3, 2, 1, go, ready? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think I'll call in Anil.
So thank you all. I think you have taken your valuable time and spared us to, and this particular the event will never be merrier without your gracious presence and things like that. So we would be heartfelt thanks from the whole team, and would like to thank and extend our heartfelt vote of thanks to the panelists who made and who set the tone that which I could sense that I think tomorrow we are almost there, and we are going to lift the cup there. So already the fever is up. So let's see that and wish ourselves and see that we pick up there. And our strength of our RH, I think it's always been from the board that we has always been there. So thanks to the board, our directors, and the team, our employees, and also the family members who has joined there, and the clients. So without you, I think we are not there. So I think that's something which we keep in our day-to-day life and see that how we work and how we can be better and better. And would also like to extend our thanks to the vendors, the sponsors, and the team, the core team from the Taj that who are being taken care and making this evening lovely. Thank you. So thank you all, and I think the bar is open and we can extend the conversations there. Thank you all. Thank you.
Sorry? My name is Ravindra Mahanuban.
Are you right over there?
Yes. I'm from my office. I work. See, say a few words for Right Horizons. How's your overall experience with Right Horizons?
Yeah, you know, I have been with Right Horizons, I think, almost for about 15 years.
Wow.
And so the most important aspect of Right Horizons is the personalized kind of a feeling that Anil gives. And even the rest of the people are fairly service oriented. There will always be some glitches here and there, some delays here and there, but I think by and large I'm happy with them. They're reliable, trustworthy, and that's what matters, I think. So
Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for joining us here at the event.
No, it's absolutely congratulations to Right Horizons for their 20th anniversary.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. A few words about Right Horizons with your introduction, and how's your experience overall with Right Horizons?
Okay. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure being here. And congratulations to the entire team for the 20th anniversary, and I wish you all many, many more.
Thank you so much.
So, I'm Satyanarayan. Okay, I've been invested with you guys for more than a year now, I think. And I think the best part of working with the team is, I think you know your customers, you understand your customer needs, and the responses from the team is really good. And I should say it has been a fantastic experience so far. So I think these are the ones, and I think these are very good steps towards becoming a fantastic company, and I think really good, I would say. These are my takeaways from Right Horizons. I think you make up a very good team, and everything looks good so far.
Thank you so much for your kind words, sir, and it's been our privilege for you being having a customer with Right Horizons.
Absolutely. Wishing you all the very best.
Thank you so much, and thank you for joining us.
Welcome. Bye.
Sir. Say a few words about Right Horizons, and how's your experience overall since you joined Right Horizons investors?
Sure. Yeah, so I think I've been with Right Horizons for over 15 years now, and my experience has been wonderful. I completely trust them with my finances and my investment. So Anil, told me very early on that some investment is better than no investment, right? And the regret I have in my investing career is I started very late. But if it was not for Right Horizon, I don't think I would have started even 15 years ago. So I think Right Horizon has definitely supported me in building a solid foundation. So I'm very, very grateful for that.
Thank you so much for your kind words, and it's our privilege for you being a customer with Right Horizons. And thank you for joining us today. Say a few words for Right Horizons, and how was your overall experience with Right Horizons these years?
Anil and Rachna, they are more of friends to us. Yeah. We walk together every day morning. Yeah. They are friends to us, and we know Anil and Rachna since quite some time. As a person, they are very nice. And Rachna, she studies a lot. She has knowledge about a lot of things. And they are very humble, very honest.
So how many years have you been associated
with Anil and Rachna since almost 15 years or so.
Great.
With Right Horizons, maybe 2-3 years.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, and it's our privilege for being Right Horizons customer. Thank you so much.
Chalu?
So we have to say it.
Okay. This is Rachna from Right Horizon.
हंसना नहीं है?
बेचारा देख लो. Okay. Now you can start.
Say a few words for Right Horizons, and since how many years you've been associated, and how was your overall experience with Right Horizons?
Right Horizon is in the right path. That I'm sure, because I'm also a consultant to them.
Yes, I agree. So we are the walking partners, and every webinar, everything I'll keep asking, and he'll say, okay, you give me the consulting fees, because he keeps giving it us.
So we came here today assuming that we will get this big check.
Check.
Offer
letter dera tha?
So on a very serious note, Anil and Rachna, both of them are the most nicest people I have come across. And we've been walking for donkey's years now.
Maybe 15-20 years. Yeah.
We've been doing that. And I got associated into Right Horizon just a few, one and a half years ago. But throughout, I have never had to meet, or I have not yet, even though they've invited me multiple number of times, I have not yet seen the office. So that is one due. So, but all the best to them, and I have seen them grow because now I am their client. Previously they were my clients.
Yes.
So it's
a great association.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure walking with them. Working to ठीक है.
Yes.
Chalo, all the best to them.
Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today. Yeah.
Unedited, मेरे घर भेज दीजिए.
Hello. Say a few words about Right Horizons. And since how many years you've been associated with Right Horizons?
For 4 years now, and for us, Right Horizons are partners.
Wow.
They are with us on this journey that we have for our financial wellness, growth, our future, safety, security of our retirement. They're total partners with us.
Great. Thank you. So you would like to add something?
No, I just second that. Of course, very nice people to work with. So that's very important because Rachna and Anil are almost like our family.
Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir.
So you should say first, and your dad should say first. Who should say first? What? How you like the show? Tell them first.
Yeah, good.
Good?
Yeah.
You like cricket?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what part was the best? What do you think tomorrow is going to happen? Yeah. Yes, you please come.
Say a few words about Right Horizons. And since how many years
Actually, we started relation just 4 months back. Okay, it was referred by one of my colleague. So he is with for the last 10 years. I think he's collaborated with Right Horizon. So he referred me. So I think we met in an office one Saturday. Within a week's time, we started.
Wow.
So with a lot of suggestions, a lot of other corrections, we have done it in our financial planning and other things.
Right.
So it's good to start and be with the family.
Great. So thank you for joining us, and thank you for your kind words.
Thank you.
Say a few words about Right Horizons, and since how many years you've been associated with us, and how was your overall experience with Right Horizons?
Well, so far it's been about 3 years since I've been associated with someone from Right Horizons. But I think only in the last 1 year we've started sort of become a client officially. So it's been so far a wonderful journey. And I think one thing we've noticed differently about Right Horizons is the account relationships are very close-knit and well-managed. So you find that there's a very strong bonding and a personal rapport between the people you deal with. So that makes it far more nice and inclusive.
Thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Say a few words about Right Horizons, and how many years have you associated with us, and how your experience since you associated with us.
So with the Right Horizon, it's almost 8 to 9 years.
Wow.
So I was working with Wipro that time. So recently changed my job, but I think the work which has been going on is beautiful. I have gained. That's the main thing. And advisors, I think this is my third advisor now, Mr. Rohit, and fabulous. I think whatever comes to my mind, I go and speak to him, and immediately I get the solutions. I think that's the thing, and yeah.
Overall, a personalized relationship.
Yes. Of course, you call him anytime, he's ready. That's what
it helps me out.
I would like to add something.
Nothing, like he is only taking care, and I'm bad with numbers also, so I don't interfere at all actually.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today.
Sure, thank you.
Say a few words about Right Horizons and how many years you've been associated with us?
Right from the very beginning.
Okay.
I mean, I met Anil when he was in Wipro. Before that day, I was telling to Rachna that day. In that there is a conference room, Bay of Bengal it is called. There we met on that day. So that is the very beginning. I mean, I was probably the one of the very first. There will be many.
Great.
I am one among them. That way, 2003 onwards.
Oh, that means almost 2 decades now.
2 decades, yes.
Yeah,
Continuously that is going on right from that beginning days.
And thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today.
Sure, thank you.
Say a few words about Right Horizons and since how many years you've been associated with us, and how was your overall experience with Right Horizons?
So we have been associated with Right Horizon, I think, from the beginning, almost from last 2004, so almost 19 years.
19 years, yeah. Great.
We have just stayed on with them, so you know what
I know, yeah.
this thing is new about it. It has been a pleasant experience. I think besides everything else, Rachna and Anil are good friends, so we just continue with that. Thank you.
Would you like to add something, sir?
And I also find that the staff has been extremely both supportive and also very responsive. Quick responses, and not just the email, also they do phone calls to solve our problems. Staff has been very good.
Thank you for your kind words, sir, and thank you for coming joining us. Thank you. Say a few words about Right Horizons and how many years you've been associated with us, and I mean, what was your overall experience with Right Horizons?
So in fact, I should say I grew along with Right Horizons.
Wow.
Anil first met me in Singapore in 2007. That's when I started off with Right Horizons. So far it's been good experience. There were lows and highs, but I decided to stick and move on. And it has worked out very well. And now I got my son into this. So
Wow. Okay.
Datta is the guy that I go to.
Oh yeah, okay, Datta.
Yeah. So I'm pretty happy. Wish Right Horizon very good luck.
And you would like to add something?
Yeah, like I told you, as there's a family, I think it will grow like however the generation will grow.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today. So say a few words about Right Horizons. Since how many years you've been associated with us? How was your overall experience with us?
I've been associated with Right Horizon now, I don't know, now 15, 17 years, almost from the beginning. I've been a client as well for a very long period of time. And the experience has been very good. I think it's one of those firms which are very values oriented. It's like we're creating value with values. It's also a firm that understands what each individual needs. To that extent, it's very, very personalized. So the recommendation I could would be very different from what somebody else gets. And third thing is that there's always been a personal touch, which in spite of size has not gone away. And I think there's a lot of passion with every Right Horizoner that I have met. So that's what makes Right Horizon so special for me.
Thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Say a few words about Right Horizons and since how many years you've been associated with us, and how was your overall experience with Right Horizons?
Yeah, Right Horizon, I know Anil and Rigo for many years, but the business relationship with kind of funds part of it since 2017. I'm with Right Horizon, and I have not looked at any other thing, and they take care of, understand complete requirement of what is that I would like to do, accordingly help me grow my funds and whenever funds required do that and all. It is a fantastic experience with that's
Ma'am, you would like to add something?
They are the most reliable people, that's what I can say.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today. Yeah? Say a few words about Right Horizons and how many years you were associated with us, and how was your overall experience with us?
I am with Right Horizon from 2009. Okay, it's almost like 15 years, 14 years. Okay. So one thing is the integrity. That is what I like, and they are very open, and whatever they tell, they do in action. So that's the main thing. That's what I like. Mainly the integrity part of things.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Ravi. Your name is
Family.
Say a few words about Right Horizons, and since how many years you've been associated with us, and how's your overall experience with Right Horizons?
Yeah, thanks first of all for inviting us here. We have been with Right Horizons, in the family of Right Horizons, I would say, for last 5 years. And Datta is our, expert and the consultant that I go to. It's been amazing. We have seen phenomenal outcomes with Right Horizons. And what I like the most about Right Horizons is they understand you as a customer from a 360-degree angle, right? They are looking at you in terms of where you are today, what your journey looks like, what can they do really to kind of help you build your wealth over time. They really customize the solution for the customer. So it's really, phenomenal. And I wish very good luck to all of you for the next 20 years. Right? Thank you so much.
Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today. Thank you. Say a few words about Right Horizons, and how many years you've been associated with us, and how was your overall experience with Right Horizons?
Thank you. My name is Kishore Ludhani. I have been associated with Right Horizon now, I think, over 18 years. And my experience has been really amazing. If you ask me the amount of savings what I have currently, if I would have done on my own, I probably would not have achieved even half of it. Okay, so it started way back, probably more than 18 years ago, when they did my financial plan, and that opened my eyes. Okay, in terms of what needs to be done, to clarity in terms of what I need to do to achieve my goals. Okay, that opened my eyes, and I think Rachna and the team have been like part of an extended family, so I can go to them for any financial advice, even otherwise as well. So always willing to support. And based on the excellent probably relationship what I have recommended quite a few of my colleagues as well. And in fact, one of my very close friend last year, he told me, why didn't you tell me in terms of you have been dealing with them earlier? I told them I had told you earlier as well. But somehow this is one area where I can't force you, am I right? Because it's involved in risk as well. But I think it's been an amazing journey. Thanks to the Right Horizon team in terms of helping me achieve my financial journey. And it's still work in progress. Thank you.
Would you like to add something? Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for joining us. A few words about Right Horizons, and how many years you've been associated with us, and how's your overall experience with Right Horizons?
Yeah, thank you so much. I've been associated for more than a year, close to a year now, and the entire experience has been fantastic. Just to brief up, Vinay has been a relationship manager for me, very apt. Comes with a lot of suggestions to me right at time, and the entire planning of how we would want to see the next few years, right, is very clear, and the goals are also very clear, and whatever we have kind of thought about, it has been more than my expectation. And I keep telling him like what is going to come up in the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and he's one step ahead of me. He pings me out and says that this is where we go and all that. Overall, I think this is a fantastic place. I feel secured with Right Horizons.
That's what we look at.
Exactly. See this, especially in India and everywhere else, right? Finances are something where you always feel whether my money is going in the right direction or not, right? And when you feel the person who's handling this is a trustworthy kind of organization, it gives you more comfort. So, I would just sum up saying that fantastic place to be. It's the right place for you to get associated, and I've been very happy with that. Just a small thing on this event today. Again, I was busy today. The kind of relationship I have with Vinay just pestered me, called me again and said that even if it is late, it's okay, sir, but come here today. So I just made time and came here, and the entire experience, and I'm a cricket buff, so the entire experience has been fantastic. Thank you so much, and many more years for Right Horizons.
So thank you for your kind words, and thank you for see a few words about Right Horizons, and how many years you've been associated with us.
We have been with Right Horizons right from beginning. We have been the well-wishers, and when I retired from Union Bank of India, I approached Anil and Rachna for the financial advice, how to invest my retirement funds, and they did a wonderful job. They were really transparent and helpful. I wish them all the best. Wherever possible, I try to inform my friends about the good work they are doing, try to get them on board. I wish them all the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today. But please,
He will answer.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
You are.
And how was your overall experience with Right Horizons since you were associated with us?
I think now it's more than 8 or 9 years that I've been associated with Right Horizon.
Wow.
The thing is, the relationship started because I was also in Wipro and Anil also was in Wipro. So Wipro means that there is a trust.
Yes,
we know there is an integrity kind of a thing and other things. So I think that's how, because especially money, there's a lot of trust in the relationship that matters. So and I think it started, and I think it's going on well for the last 8+ years. And they are maintaining a huge portfolio.
Thank you so much. Ma'am, would like to add something?
No, I'm totally zero in this field.
Not into this. Thank you for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
See a few words about Right Horizons, and how was your overall experience with Right Horizons since you've associated with us?
Okay, well, the reason I'm here is I'm just a recent investor for the company, and I found the discussion very interesting, the way it was presented, and I think I made a right decision in investing in the company.
With Right Horizons.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your kind words. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
My name is Ravindra Mahanadu.
Ravindran or Ravindra?
Ravindra. I actually is right.
Yeah. Nice
I
meeting you.
manage India business. So, say a few words about Right Horizons, and how was your overall experience with Right Horizons, and this is how many years you will be associated with us.
Yeah, it's almost more than 10-11 years now, so it's good journey, and let us see like how long it will continue, but till now I will say that the experience is very good, and my expectations are met. That's what I can say. Good journey till now.
Thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, sir. Nice meeting you.
Say a few lines. Say a few words about Right Horizons, and how was your overall experience since you've associated with Right Horizons?
It was a good experience, and the event was also very nice. And congratulations to Right Horizon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Say a few words about Right Horizons, and how's your overall experience with Right Horizons since you have been associated with us?
Sure, thank you. I am Nagendra Prasad, and it's been really a pleasant experience with Right Horizon team, Rachana and Anil. They feel like it gives a lot of confidence now after associating them. Initially, to be honest, I didn't have much knowledge about finance, investments, etc. The journey has been so enriching. Now it's a great pleasure, and I've been recommending about Right Horizons relation and the kind of value they deliver. I promote that, and I've been kind of an ambassador. So that speaks for the relation. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So say a few words about Right Horizons, and how was the overall experience with Right Horizons since you've been associated with us?
Yeah, so what I really cherish about both Anil and Rachna and their, what shall I say, deep felt value system where they really care about their customers. And it's not about a transaction, it's really about a lifelong relationship. And that is something that they really believe in. That's the reason they started their business. And I think the whole team also resonates with it. So that's what I really like.
Thank you so much for your kind words, and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, hi, my name is Rajeshwar Bhatt. I've been investor with Right Horizon for almost about 15 odd years. It's been a great experience working with Anil and Rachna. So I wish him all the best and wish the team all the best at their 20th anniversary. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind words. say a few words about Right Horizons and how was your overall experience with Right Horizons since you associated with us?
Right Horizon is not just a company but it's a family, and the personalized touch which people get here, they feel like a family and home.
Wow.
So the trust factor, the personal care, I think that is what this company is like excellent. You can't get at the biggest of the name or the smallest of the advisors. You get it here.
Thank you so much for your kind words and thank you for joining us from Mumbai office. Ravindra Mahanuva. Yes, I am from Mumbai office. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I take care of private wealth. So, say a few words about Right Horizons and how is your overall experience with Right Horizons since you've been associated with us?
Okay. I got to interact with Right Horizons about 20 years ago, almost since its inception. So I'm one of the early people who came in because Anil was the brother of a dear friend.
Okay.
But today my association has grown to a level that I didn't realize it would happen over 20 years. Because I respect the company, I respect the ethics, the values, I respect the ambition and drive, I respect the processes put in place, because it's easy to be a consultant in wealth management. It's very hard to build an organization. And today, Right Horizons has pulled it off. And I appreciate that. And I congratulated them today. And we both invest with Right Horizons also. So
would you like to add something, sir?
Well, modern business, he has become a good family friend.
Wow.
And we trust him for everything.
Thank you for your kind words and thank you for joining us today.
Thank
you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ready, yeah? Wait. Start. Okay.
How was your overall experience since you been associated with us?
I've not been directly associated, but we've seen the progress of Right Horizons, and we've seen them grow from very small with the progress they've made. We wish them the very best, and I know the sky's the limit for them. They've got wonderful staff and things going very well for them. So we wish them the very best.
Thank you for your kind words and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Congratulations.